just couldn't at that time I couldn't really like think up what's the word for a self-help book, so I just said, oh, I read Star Wars, and he just like,
oh,
he did that
like
face.
he didn't ask more about it, right?
Yeah, he
so
just
you get
moved
away
on.
with it.
Yeah, he just sort of like,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
all right,
okay.
Next up, next question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, the thing is, sometimes if you really don't have it prepared for it, the best thing you probably can do is like, just say, oh, I didn't read any books, but I do blah 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 blah, all that stuff, like just add the things that relate to the questions to help you have a bit to make a little bit of a comeback. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so like what did they ask you next?
So, the next thing they'll ask will probably be the things that you mentioned in the in your introduction phrase,
And in
like,
portfolio, right?
Yeah, and in that too, if they take a look at it. And in my case, they, I introduced that I am interested in literature, history and stuff. They just went straight into like US history. It's like, what is your favorite centuries in American history, something like that. In my case, I picked the 19th century, because that's when the Americans are really catching up with the other countries around the world. They are like industrializing, they are expanding their power. They say an agriculture revolution and etc. Just give them your reasonings.
Okay. Like before the interview, and like, did you tell the judge something, or like they just say, okay, thank you for the interview, or like, did you say anything?
Well, at the end of the interview they usually going to ask to you, do you have any more questions? And what I think what you need to do is, always ask some question to them, like, it can be like a question about the curriculum, like, like, are we going to study on site or online, and like, are we going to study this, how this material is going to be. But
okay.
you should not ask a simplistic question, because a question that can be easily be Googleable, like, and a question that can easily be found on Google. So like, you need to ask like a deep question, or a sort of question that makes a connection between you and the judge. Like, ask them like what's their favorite, like what's their favorite American president, something like that. They'll usually just answer to you, and sort of make connection with you, have a relationship, a good one.
Okay.
And I think that's conclude our ธรรมศาสตร์ interviews.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. Next up, Chulalongkorn interview.